Okay, so today we will continue the discussion on Brevik-Taif transformation. So let me quickly review what we were talking about last time. So we said let's say we have some state. Let's say like this, and suppose that we actually discussed one transformation that in the Jordan-Wigner we map this as it is, but in the parity basis we mapped to another basis. Let's say we call it Pi sum over J where this pi n matrix, for example, pi 8 was, this is an upper triangular matrix like this. And then we said that this doesn't give us, the advantage that we were trying to find out. So for the Brevik-Taif basis, we chose this transformation, Bi sum over J, and now let's say matrix is beta ni, where beta n is recursively defined like this, and beta 2x plus is in terms of beta 2x, like this. And the inverse is there's a 1 here, everything else is 0, like this. And as an example, let's say if I give beta 8, this all zeros except 1, ah, 1, then like this. Okay. So we discussed last time that to implement the transformation of operators, we need to have three types of sets. One is the parity set that keep tracks of the qubits that store the parity, and then an update set, and also a flip set. So let's see what the parity set should be. Okay, so the parity set, we can define it like this. Since parity, if you remember the parity basis, sum over J, Ij, Fj, and similarly Bi is let's say sum over j beta n ij fj. So from here we see that I can write fj as beta n inverse jk some bk. And if I put this fj over here, then the parity bits can be found sum ij phi n ij, and in place of fj I can write this sum over k bk. So it means that, and this, this thing is nothing but, if I take this sum over k outside and take this sum over j inside, phi n ij beta inverse jk bk, this is nothing but the matrix product of matrix pi n and matrix beta n, right? So it's right here. Pi is sum over k, pi n matrix multiplication beta n inverse ik bk. So it means the parity can be computed from this matrix and actually from its rows, because for each ith element, its row multiplies with this column vector b, where b is the Biraviki type representation. So let me give you an example. So let's look at this matrix pi 8 beta 8 minus 1. If you work it out, let me just write the product. We get 1 1 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 0. तो ये आ गया हमारे पास इन दोनों का प्रोडक्ट, ठीक है. Okay, so let's write some parity, sets. So this is the row for the parity of qubit 7. So let's number them like this: 0th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all the way up to the 7th qubit. So the parity set for 7th qubit is, there is qubit number 6, 5, and 3. Okay, क्योंकि अगर इसके आप पैरिटी क्यूबिट जो पैरिटी बेसिस फाइंड करना चाहते हैं, सो हमें बी मैट्रिक्स को बी जो कॉलम वेक्टर है इससे मल्टीप्लाई करके पी मिल जाता है. सो पी का जो पहला एलिमेंट है p7, इट्स सम ऑफ ऑल ऑफ दीज. सो इफ यू एक्सक्लूड the qubit that we were working with, and then you see these are the 3 qubits that store the parity information of this one. Similarly, the parity of the 6th qubit is stored by qubit number 5 and 3. And similarly, parity set for qubit 5 is 4 3, and you can work it out. And parity set of qubit 0 is empty set, because this is equal to itself, so we don't have to look at any other bit to know its parity. Similarly, if you have like 16 qubits, you can construct a matrix like this and work out the parity sets for each qubit. Okay, so let's see what the update set should be. So this is a set that we have to update. If we are, let's say, acting at the qubit j, then that qubit, is feeding into some other qubits. So this is that set. For every qubit j, we have a set that stores a partial sum that includes that qubit. So we have to work out that set as well. So it stores the partial sums of each qubit. So this we can easily work out directly from this matrix beta 8, because okay, so why don't you guys go ahead? This matrix is already written over here. बल्कि वो लिखा हुआ ऊपर, okay? And write the update set of each of the qubit. Okay? Try to see के जो let's say 7th qubit है, तो कौन कौन सी qubit उसमें फीड इन कर रही है उसके पार्शियल सम में. जो सॉरी, आपने ये देखना है कि 7th क्यूबिट किस किस में फीड इन कर रही है. जैसे क्यूबिट जो 0 है, इट्स गोइंग इनटू क्यूबिट 1 सम. तो जो और क्यूबिट 0 में कोई भी नहीं आ रही. सो क्यूबिट 0 का जो अपडेट सेट है वो एम्प्टी है, लेकिन क्यूबिट 1 के एम्प्टी अपडेट सेट के अंदर जो क्यूबिट 1 है वो शामिल है. सॉरी, जो क्यूबिट 0 का अपडेट सेट है ना, वो है फर्स्ट, थर्ड और 7th. यानी ये किस किस में जा रही है. इसी तरह बाकी सबका, ये जो सेकंड वाली है वो किस किस में जा रही है. हाँ, मतलब जो क्यूबिट 0 है, इसका अपडेट सेट है 1 3 7. सबसे नीचे वाला 0 है. 0 1 2 3 4 इस तरह से क्यूबिट. हाँ बिल्कुल. हाँ, उसके अपडेट सेट्स हैं, क्योंकि कौन से वाली, क्योंकि वो क्यूबिट 1 में जा रही है, 3 में जा रही है और 7 में जा रही है. ठीक है, सो ये वो उनका अपडेट सेट है. फिर क्यूबिट 1 का अपडेट सेट लिखें, वो किस किस में फीड इन कर रही है. नहीं, आपने देखना ही है कि ये है ना असल में. तो यहां से F0 किस किस में जा रहा है, F1 किस में जा रहा है, F7 किस में जा रहा है. ठीक है, तो F0 जो है वो फर्स्ट में, थर्ड में और 7 में जा रहा है. इसी तरह देखें कि F1 जो है वो किस किस में जा रहा है. हाँ, सो राइट द अपडेट सेट फॉर ईच वन ऑफ देम. मैं तो 1 मिनट, वो उस तरह सेट लिखने हैं जिस तरह हमने वो सेट लिखे हैं. ये वाले से B8 के साथ B8 किसी फंक्शन को दो और फिर उधर कौन सी क्यूबिट का हमने देखा. हाँ जी. नहीं नहीं, आपने ये सेट्स लिखे हैं, अपडेट सेट हर क्यूबिट के. हाँ जी.
सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही। सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही।
No, can you hear now?
जी सर
Okay.
अब अभी ठीक है।
Oh, okay. Thank you.
अब ठीक। थैंक यू।
All right. So flip set is the set of all qubits telling us if so. Flip set is the set of qubits that tell us if parity of qubit j is same as orbital j or opposite. Because that will tell us that when we are applying the creation annihilation operator, what we have to do. Over there, if the parity is the same, it means then creation mean creation and annihilation mean annihilation. If parity is opposite, it means creation mean annihilation and annihilation mean creation. Okay. So for that, let's say, again, let's go back to Pi was beta n ij fj. So we have to know the parity of this f set. So I can take its inverse. So fj would be beta n inverse ji sum over j. So I can find the parity of the occupation of this state from the inverse of this matrix. So as an example, let's say we again take the 8 qubit case, and beta 8 inverse is 1111. Sorry, 110 and then 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0. So this copies here 1 1 1 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 0 1. So this is the beta 8 inverse. जी? हम्म, सॉरी ये बी है, बल्कि for better symbolism let's call it beta j and then ij and let's call it I. Okay, so let's see what's the flip set of qubit 0. So flip set of qubit 0 is empty. क्यों? क्योंकि I don't have to look at any other qubit to know that what's the parity of qubit 0, because even in Brevik type qubit 0 is directly representing the orbital occupation. Similarly, actually for all even numbered qubits we can see that the flip set is empty, because right, because those qubits actually are copied as it is, their occupation is copied in this basis anyway. This would be 6, इसलिए कि अगर हमें ब्रेविक टाइप गिवन है तो आई वांट टू सी द ऑक्यूपेशन ऑफ ऑर्बिटल्स. ठीक है, ओके. सो फॉर ऑल इवन नंबर्ड क्यूबिट्स the flip set is empty, right? क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पे ऐसी 1 1 है, so the qubit occupation is directly copied in the Brevik type. Now for the other qubits, you see, for example, for this qubit, this and this this qubit has come here, so the flip set of qubit 1 is 0, because the 0 qubit is part of this one. So flip set of this qubit 2 is again 1 and 2, and so on. Okay, so now we have all the 3 sets, and let's see what would be our operators now. Operator transformation. Let me first do for when qubit index is even. So when it is even, then I can replace this AJ dagger with this operator. I put an update set of J qubit, because these are the qubits that have to be updated, because they contain the information about qubit J. So whenever qubit J is created or annihilated, I have to flip, all the qubits in the update set. So this is here, and then I have this QJ operator, which we already defined as, the creation operator as the x minus iota y. And then for the parity set, I will operate this Z on the parity set to compute the parity of this state. And you see the flip set is not being used for even qubit, because the flip set is empty anyway for even qubits. And this AJ operator, this goes to X update, annihilation of this qubit, and then computing of parity from the parity set. And let's see what happened for odd J. For odd J, let's define another operator. in place of this creation annihilation operator, we define new creation annihilation operators like this. And the reason now is this, that our flip set will tell us if the parity of this state is even or odd. If the parity of this J state is even, then we should apply, for creation regular Q plus minus. And if the parity is odd, then, and I'm going to define these operator shortly, then we would apply the inverse of this, Q plus minus operator, and with a minus sign because the parity is odd. So I'm getting a minus sign for odd parity. And now these operator E and O, they are this operator. So E operator is EF half identity plus parity of Fj, and O is Fj half identity minus Z Fj. Now you see what this does. So suppose the parity of the flip set is even. So if parity is even, when I apply Z Fj, I'll get the same state. It's like applying the identity. And when it is even, I will get an identity here again. So identity minus identity 0. So this will amount to giving us a 0 eigenvalue. So this term will go away, and this I plus I by 2 will give us I. Similarly, if the parity is odd, which means when I apply Z on all qubits in the F set, I'll get a minus state. So minus into state mean that, so this, when this is applied to the state, I get the state as it is. So state minus state is 0. So this is state minus minus, this is state plus state. So I'll apply this operator. Okay. So with now these definitions, we can construct the operator for odd as well, like this, that our AJ plus minus are X update tensor pi plus minus J tensor Z RJ, where now I'm applying this update. अच्छा, ये जो मैंने A minus इंट्रोड्यूस किया ना, ये AJ minus मतलब सिर्फ AJ है, जो पहले ये वाला AJ लिखा हुआ है ना. So I'm just for ease of writing, I'm defining it AJ minus. So अब ये जो Z operator है, I don't have to apply it to the whole parity set. क्यों? क्योंकि we have already computed the parity here for the qubits that are in the flip set. ठीक है, तो क्योंकि वो वाला पार्ट इसके अंदर आ गया है ऑलरेडी, तो जो RJ अब आपको पैरिटी अप्लाई करनी है, you just take the remainder set of whatever was in parity minus whatever was in the flip set. क्योंकि देखें, let's say parity set है किसी क्यूबिट का 3 2 1 4, और flip set है उस क्यूबिट का 3 2, like this. तो अब इसकी पैरिटी तो हमने यहाँ पे कंप्यूट कर ली है फ्लिप सेट की. ओके, सो आई डोंट हैव टू कंप्यूट द पैरिटी ऑफ these two numbers, these two states again for this operator. So we just define this set R, which is P minus F. R will contain only 1 and 4. So for this operator, we only need to apply the parity operator on the remainder of parity and F set. Okay, now in general, you see at the end we have operator that operate on sets U, R, and F, and all of these three sets have their length log n, which mean at most, so which mean that our operator size is now only proportional to 3 times log n instead of n, as was the case for the simple Jordan-Wigner transformation and the other one, the parity transformation. क्योंकि देखें ना, ये अपडेट सेट है, ये पाई के अंदर फ्लिप सेट है, और ये एक रिमाइंडर सेट है, और तीनों का साइज जो है वो log n ही है ना, ठीक है। तो 3 सेट्स है तो 3 टाइम्स log n. And we can, write them in a combined form for even and odd like this. If you, substitute all those things, so you can see that aj plus minus 1 would be half x update set tensor xj tensor z row j minus plus iota x update set tensor yj tensor z row j, where row j is equal to parity set when j is even, and this is equal to that remainder set when j is odd. So if you, substitute for pi, etc., and simplify, so this is the final form for these operators. Oh, you can see it properly. Okay, so any question? No? All right, so the topic actually doesn't end here. The course unfortunately ends here. And the reason is this, that we have just begun to see how we can, excuse me, reduce the complexity of our problem. And there are, ways to further reduce the complexity of Hamiltonian simulation by exploiting the fact that so far we are dealing with the, a system in which we are approximating with a vector that has the same length as number of orbitals. Okay, for example, if you have 10 orbitals and you have 3 electrons, so let's say one situation is that the 3 electrons are in the first, second, third orbital and all others are empty, or maybe there's a 0 here, 1, 1, and 0 here, and so on. So you have a total of 10, choose 3 states, possible states. But the number of qubits that are required by us are 10. Okay, but we know that 10 qubits can be used to simulate many more states, not just these many. With 10 states, we can simulate 2 power 10. With 10 qubits, we can simulate, 2 power 10 qubits, 2 power 10 computational basis state, right? So exploiting, this fact, people have developed clever ways of reducing the number of qubits that are required to implement these operators. But of course, that, increases the complexity of the Hamiltonian itself, but it reduces the number of qubits. And to give you an idea, if we, let's say, have a 4 qubit system, a 4 orbital system, जो हमने पहले भी example ली थी. So if we have 4 orbital and 2 electrons, so what are the possible states? 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1 0 1 0 0 1 0 1. So these are 6 states, and we can simulate them with actually 3 qubits. If we can map each of these 6 states to one of the computational basis state of 3 qubits, 3 qubits can have 0 0 0 state, 0 0 1, and so on. So let's say we construct a mapping that this state is going to be represented by this state is going to be represented by this, and so on. And you can see with 3 qubit, actually I can represent 8 states. But of course, when we map this state to this computational basis state, I'll have to come up with a mapping for the operators as well, right? Because now I'm representing my states in a different way. So, and actually there are more than one ways of doing these mappings. So there are at least 4 or 5 ways that I have seen. So with that thing, people have been able to reduce the number of qubits required for Hamiltonian simulations as well. And just to give another comment, जो Hamiltonian simulation है वो just ये atoms या molecules के लिए नहीं, बल्कि people have also proposed, let's say, solving for internal structure of nucleus, because wherever quantum mechanics is describing a phenomena, you can essentially use quantum computer and the same technique for Hamiltonian simulation to simulate the physics over there. So and even there are a lot of work going on in LHC right now, where people are trying to come up with techniques of simulating the interaction of elementary particles on quantum computer. Because in LHC, it's 1% of the work, even less than 1% is running the experiment and getting the data, but 99% of the work is essentially making sense of that data. So they have pioneered a lot of work in classical data processing, but now also a lot of work is being done in coming up with the quantum mechanical algorithms to efficiently simulate that data. So the applications for Hamiltonian simulation for physics are huge, and with the hope getting higher and higher every day about the the possibility of a scaled quantum computer, I think this is something that's going to be important, perhaps for all physicists. बल्कि मैं just जो है वो ये आज भी और कल भी एक theoretical physicist की talk सुना था. So he was just trying to explain the connection of general relativity and quantum mechanics using the some concepts from quantum computing in trying to relate the entanglement with what happens in the black holes, etc. So I think it's looking like that the concepts of and uses of quantum computers, especially for physics, are going to go beyond computation, because a lot of theoretical arguments and arguments about complexity of different problems and their solution and possibilities, they are being framed on the same lines as we think about quantum computers. So I do hope that you keep on this journey, क्योंकि ये कोर्स जस्ट एक इंट्रोडक्शन ही है और आपने देखा है कि everything is at this moment now too involved for it to be done in a course. तो आपके पास जो है वो इंटरनेट है, you can go and just search for yourself जो भी आप इस टॉपिक में भी इंटरेस्टेड हैं, and you can expand. अभी नहीं है, but people are working on that, especially for quantum chemistry. Actually, I think it's already implemented in Qiskit. You can just call function from Qiskit. Sorry? So वो ज़ाहिर है उन्होंने वो जिस तरह फंक्शन डिफाइन किया उनकी हेल्प में लिखा हुआ है कि कैसे इसको आपने यूज करना है. मेरे ख्याल हाई लेवल लैंग्वेजेस काफी सारी तो डेवलप हो चुकी हैं ऑलरेडी. So it's only a matter of time before the competition chooses one or the other. C sharp, सॉरी C sharp कह रहा हूँ, एक है Q sharp, मेरे ख्याल में ये गूगल वालों की तरफ से है, फिर किसकेट का आपको पता है, इसके अलावा पेनी लेन की है अपनी एक, और डी वेव की है, और भी काफी सारी हैं। मेरे ख्याल में एट द एंड तो यही मकसद होगा लोगों को। ठीक है, नहीं देखिए हार्डवेयर तो ये तो जस्ट अभी आप इसकी मदद से हैमिल्टोनियन को ट्रांसफॉर्म कर लेंगे। तो उस हैमिल्टोनियन के लिए आप फिर जिस तरह से एल्गोरिदम जो जिस तरह उसको सिमुलेट करना चाहते हो उस तरह से इंप्लीमेंट करेंगे। ये वैसे ही सॉफ्टवेयर लेवल पे भी इम्प्लीमेंटेड है। नहीं हार्डवेयर पे आपका क्या मतलब, हार्डवेयर पे तो क्यूबिट्स हैं। हम्म नहीं देखिए आप शायद बात करें स्पेसिफिक पर्पस क्वांटम कंप्यूटर। हम्म हम्म ब्रेविक टाइप। हम्म मैं आपका नहीं सवाल समझ रहा, बिकॉज आई डोंट गेट व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से, बिकॉज दिस इज अ प्री कंप्यूटेशनल स्टेप, दिस इज नॉट अ कंप्यूटेशनल स्टेप जो हमने अभी तक किया। हम जस्ट हैमिल्टोनियन को एक ऐसी फॉर्म में ला रहे हैं कि इट्स एफिशिएंट टू सिमुलेट इट। हम्म हम्म अगर तो सिर्फ उसका क्वांटम पार्ट की बात करें तो उसके एनालॉगस अभी कुछ भी नहीं है, वी ओनली हैव इंडिविजुअल क्यूबिट्स। लेकिन क्वांटम कंप्यूटर इज एसेंशियली स्टिल मोस्टली अ क्लासिकल कंप्यूटर, क्योंकि जब हम ये प्रोग्राम सबमिट करते हैं उसको तो देयर आर क्लासिकल एल्गोरिथम दैट ट्रांसलेट इट इनटू एन असेंबली लैंग्वेज, एंड देन टू हार्डवेयर लेवल के किस गेट के करस्पॉन्डिंग कौन सी पल्स कितनी ड्यूरेशन के लिए भेजनी है, किन सीक्वेंस से भेजनी है। सो ऑल ऑफ दैट इज बीइंग डन classically, and then the quantum hardware is prepared and probed with that, और जो अगर इंटरमीडिएट डेटा कुछ आ रहा है एल्गोरिदम से, तो that is stored in a classical memory, and then at the end when your algorithm is run it's displayed to you. अब फिजिक्स की बात कर रहे हैं उसके कि फिजिकली कैसे हो रहा है। अब मतलब बेसिकली वी हैव रेजोनेटर्स, जो सुपर कंडक्टिंग क्यूबिट्स है ना, रेजोनेटर्स है, and they really look like a resonator. So you just have a loop with the a junction, so that becomes a capacitor and inductor, an LC resonator, and then there are resonators in between those qubits, and you send the microwave pulses, and you turn on and off different interactions between them by changing the frequency of those pulses and duration, and that's how it works. ये जिस तरह से हमने शुरू में पढ़ा था, वो जो पिछले कोर्स के शुरू में के एंटेंगलमेंट कैसे जनरेट की जाती है वगैरह। हाँ हाँ, तो सर्किट के पीछे हार्डवेयर है ना, फॉर एन एक्स गेट देयर इज अ स्पेसिफिक पल्स, जब फॉर अ जी गेट देयर इज अ पल्स। हाँ जी जी। देखिए उसका वो डिपेंड करता है एग्जैक्ट हार्ड, अगर आप सुपर कंडक्टिंग क्यूबिट्स की बात करें तो द बेसिक थिंग इज के you have, you know, let's say 2 qubits, दोनों की अपनी एक resonance frequency है. So when you and then there is a coupling resonator in between them that has a resonant frequency. So you, let's say, based on 1 qubit's resonant frequency, you drive the other. So that's, you know, I'm not exactly sure कि वो frequencies कैसे choose करती हैं, but that's how it is done. वो उसको जो उस पे ऑपरेट करते हैं वो भी हम डिफरेंट पल्सेस भेजते हैं, डिफरेंट ड्यूरेशन और डिफरेंट शेप्स की. जी जी बिल्कुल. फिर तो नहीं, वो तो है ना कि हम क्वांटम कंप्यूटर को वो इंस्ट्रक्शन सेट बना रहे हैं, तो अल्टीमेटली उसके लिए सेट तो बनाना है ना. तो लेकिन जो ये वाला सारा काम है, ये तो सारा वो क्वांटम चिप के ऊपर हो रहा है ना. नहीं, भेज तो रहा है, लेकिन एट द एंड वो जहाँ पे एग्जीक्यूट होते हैं, दैट्स अ क्वांटम सिस्टम. हाँ ठीक है, मतलब जैसे देखें हम अब जैसे ये भी कंप्यूटर मेरे सामने पड़ा है, तो आई एम, यू नो, सॉर्ट ऑफ मैकेनिकल डिवाइस. सो मैं उसके साथ इंटरेक्ट करता हूँ, समथिंग, यू नो, कन्वर्ट्स इनटू अदर, एट द एंड इट गोज टू दैट प्रोसेसर. सो ये स्टेप्स तो हैं. हम्म, हम्म. हाँ, तो मैं समझा नहीं आपका एतराज क्या है. बिल्कुल चाहिए, क्लासिकल के बगैर तो क्वांटम नहीं चलेगी. मैं उसका मतलब ये है कि आप वो सारी लॉजिक उधर भी कर सकते हैं जो डिजिटल लॉजिक है. लेकिन लेट्स से आपने अगर माइक्रोवेव पल्सेस, तो वो उसके तो एनालॉग सर्किट है. ठीक है, अगर आपने ऐड करना है, सब्ट्रैक्ट करना है, कुछ भी करना है, वो लॉजिकल फंक्शन परफॉर्म करना है, तो आप उधर भी कर सकते हैं. दैट्स व्हाट वी मीन. हाँ जी जी. तो इन प्रिंसिपल तो इस तरह जो दूसरा क्लासिकल काम आप कह रहे हैं, पल्सेस जनरेट हो रही हैं, डेटा, सो वो तो चूंकि इन प्रिंसिपल हम सिमुलेट कर सकते हैं, तो एसेंशियली वो सारे का सारा काम भी क्वांटम कंप्यूटर में किया जा सकता है. बट यू नो, व्हाई डू इट? बिकॉज दैट्स समथिंग दैट्स नॉट integral. So why do that expensive thing? Okay, so next week जो है, we will have presentations in this room without Zoom. तो आप लोग जो है वो दूसरों को ग्रेड करेंगे, उसके भी मार्क्स होंगे. और देन आई, अपनी जो रिपोर्ट्स है उससे पहले पहले आपने सबमिट करनी है, प्रेजेंटेशन से पहले. और फिर बाद में स्लाइड्स भी. और मैं फिर रिपोर्ट्स देख के आप लोगों को कुछ कमेंट्स दूंगा, तो वो आप फिर उसको अपडेट कर लीजिएगा. ओके आसिफ, अल्लाह हाफिज.
थैंक यू सर. ऑफिस